I mean, Ryan, that looks bad. Why is Travis Kelce not following you anymore? These are real things. These aren't just us bullying you and so on. We are not going to just keep accepting whatever narrative you and other high profile celebrities demand we follow.
Disney has officially cut ties with Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. Yes, you heard that right. Two of Hollywood's favorite stars are no longer connected to the company. The reason behind this surprising split might shock you. Was it a major act of disloyalty or something Disney had no choice but to do?
Ryan Reynolds has a very lucrative deal through Fox, through everything, that he's in bed with them. They can't afford to cut him loose, but they can have a talk and tell him, Ryan, this is not good. But Ryan seems to be so stubborn and aggressively trying to prove the proof is out there, and I don't know what this man is thinking. But from what I've heard now from multiple, I heard this a little bit ago, and I heard it from some newer sources today, confirming that yes, Bob Iger himself and Disney have been trying to get Ryan Reynolds to drop this nonsense. Just like Taylor Swift, just like everybody else involved, nobody wants to be involved in this. And now they've put on a brave face. They have made it clear they're not going to play nice pool with Justin over these Deadpool requests of getting information from the film. But it's Justin's right. This is all absolutely valid. This is not frivolous. He is demanding that they hold on to these documents so that he can do his discovery to figure it out. It's not up for a judge to deem what's frivolous this early on in a case. That's what the case is for, Ryan. You don't get to just throw your power around and keep demanding that it's frivolous and to go away. And you are so out of touch. It's wild. You guys started this lawsuit. Let's not forget, you were the ones who started the lawsuit, and Justin's proven fairly that a lot of what your wife is saying didn't seem to happen.
Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively have long been seen as one of Hollywood's top power couples. Reynolds is known for his sharp sense of humor and hit movies, while Lively is admired for her style and grace at every event she attends. But while everything looked great from the outside, things behind the scenes were not as perfect, especially when it came to their relationship with Disney. For years, Reynolds was a major star for Disney, especially after the company bought 20th Century Fox and took over the Deadpool franchise, which turned out to be a huge success. Even though Deadpool didn't match Disney's usual family-friendly vibe, it brought in big money, and Reynolds fully embraced the role with his usual humor and creativity. But success alone wasn't enough to keep things smooth. Behind the glowing headlines, insiders say there were growing tensions. Disney expected full focus from Reynolds, but he had a lot going on. Along with acting, he was involved in several outside projects like Mint Mobile and Wrexham AFC, which kept him in the spotlight but also very busy. Disney, which invests a lot in its big stars, may have started to feel like they weren't getting his full attention. As for Blake Lively, her connection to Disney wasn't as strong. Unlike Reynolds, she didn't take on any major roles with the company, which might have created more pressure on him. Some think this difference may have added quiet tension, especially with Reynolds trying to juggle the heavy demands of Disney while staying true to his own creative interests. Then came the rumors behind-scenes conflicts during the early planning of Deadpool 3. People whispered about disagreements on creative direction and problems with scheduling. Disney is known for being very strict when it comes to managing its talent, and those kinds of issues likely didn't sit well. In the end, it wasn't just one thing. The split between Disney and the famous couple seems to be the result of many small problems adding up. Whatever happened, it wasn't a simple decision. It feels like something big pushed things over the edge, and the real story behind the scenes might be even more dramatic than anyone expected.
Why are they still so quiet, Ryan? Because you guys are trying to force down a narrative and we are refusing to accept it. Now, I wasn't there, but all I know, a lot of crew members now I've spoken to who were there, they all say this didn't happen. But was there some other miscommunication or problem with your wife and Justin? Maybe. But was all this worth it? Absolutely not. And now it's affecting your work. Now it's affecting your boss over at Disney, which you finally got to step in with this big, huge, successful movie, but now you can't even post an Instagram post without leaving the comments on. You have to turn them off. Like, this is not good for your brand, brother. This is not worth it. Now, I've had other sources, less of them, but sources deep inside saying divorce is going to come in a couple years.
Disney isn't known for making quick or careless decisions, especially when it comes to cutting ties with big stars like Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. So what could have happened that pushed them to take such a big step? According to some insiders, there was one major incident that forced Disney's hand, and surprisingly, it might not have even started on a movie set. There's talk that Disney's strict rules for its stars played a big role. The company works hard to protect its family-friendly image, and even their biggest celebrities aren't above those rules. Ryan Reynolds has always been known for his edgy humor and bold projects, and Disney seemed okay with that until now. It looks like the turning point might be connected to Reynolds' ongoing legal fight with actor and filmmaker Justin Baldoni. The situation has gotten messy fast. Sources say Disney's top leaders, including CEO Bob Iger, even tried to get Reynolds to back away from the case, which shows how seriously they were taking it. Disney likely feared the drama would explode into a public relations nightmare. The heart of the issue is a defamation lawsuit Baldoni filed against Reynolds. Reynolds' lawyers say the claims are baseless and designed to get attention, but Baldoni's team fired back hard, saying they have strong evidence to support their case. One of Baldoni's lawyers even said they had a mountain of proof suggesting this isn't just petty drama. What makes this even more complicated is a rumor that the whole thing started because of a joke in a Deadpool scene, one that apparently made fun of Baldoni. Some crew members confirmed there was a hidden jab in the script that fits Reynolds' style of humor. But no one expected the joke to blow up like this. Baldoni's side says Reynolds' reaction to the lawsuit shows he can't take criticism, while Reynolds' team calls it all a publicity stunt. No matter who's right, Disney clearly saw this legal mess as a big problem, especially since Reynolds is tied to Deadpool, one of their most valuable film franchises. Disney has cut ties with controversial stars before, like Johnny Depp and Gina Carano, but this situation feels different. The details are still unclear. Was it the joke, the legal strategy, or tensions with Disney leaders that finally pushed things too far? No one is saying much publicly, but it's clear this wasn't a quick or easy decision. All signs point to a situation that Disney simply couldn't ignore, and now, fans are wondering what this means for Deadpool and the future of the billion-dollar franchise.
We're constantly out there trying to say, no, we're victims! Believe us, we're victims! I don't believe you are. There's so much more important stuff happening in the world, and real abuse with Harvey on trial and others. The Diddy case. These are real cases we should be focusing our energy on and time and resources, not because he looked me in the eyes while I was breastfeeding. This is absolutely ridiculous. Talk about frivolous. But anyway, now he's trying to ask the judge to ding Justin's team financially. But JB has pointed the finger back. Of course, this is all. Every time there's a story, someone does one and then they do the other, and I'm getting a little bored of it all because, yeah, the Deadpool star on Tuesday hit back against JB and his team with a request for monetary sanctions, which they say is reaction to the preposterous defamation lawsuit that makes a mockery of the legal system. That's not up for the judge to deem. This is why we're in discovery. This is why we're doing depositions. Dude, you don't get to just end it before he's even gotten to ask people and get the facts. There is enough here to get information. The fact that your team was out there asking Taylor to delete text messages and show support.
Ryan Reynolds is basically the face of Deadpool. His sharp wit, perfect timing, and unique personality have made the foul-mouthed superhero a fan favorite. But Reynolds didn't just act the part, he helped shape who Deadpool is, both on screen and behind the scenes. Now, with Deadpool 3 coming soon, Disney is in a tough spot. Cutting ties with Reynolds is more than just a creative problem, it's a huge financial risk. Without him, Disney could face major backlash from fans and lose momentum on one of its most successful franchises. Remember, Disney didn't create Deadpool, they got it when they bought 20th Century Fox. The franchise was already a hit, and Disney leaned into it, showing they were open to edgier content. But now, things have changed, and Disney has a big question to answer. How do you keep Deadpool going without the actor who made it famous? Sure, they could cast someone new, but would fans accept that most people don't just see Reynolds as the guy playing Deadpool, they see Deadpool as Reynolds himself? Swapping actors could lead to major fan backlash. On the other hand, delaying the movie might give Disney time to figure things out, but it could also mess up their entire release schedule and disappoint fans. These kinds of situations aren't new. Just a few years ago, Scarlett Johansson sued Disney over Black Widow, and that nearly ruined their partnership with her. It caused delays and changed how Disney worked with talent going forward. But Reynolds' situation is even more complicated. His legal battle with actor-director Justin Baldoni and the fallout from that seems to have pushed things to the edge. It's not just about Disney anymore, it's a tangled mess that could affect the whole Deadpool franchise and how Disney works with big-name stars in the future. And then there's Blake Lively. Her latest film It Ends With Us didn't do well with critics or at the box office. She wasn't working directly with Disney, but it's possible that her career slump made the studio even more hesitant to stay tied to the couple. Some wonder if she was seen as a risk just by association. Right now, the future of Deadpool is more uncertain than ever. Disney has a billion-dollar franchise on its hands, but they're walking a thin line between keeping fans happy and avoiding more controversy. There are rumors they already have backup plans in case they go forward without Reynolds, but however they choose to move, it could shape the future of not just Deadpool but how fans view Marvel and Disney overall. So what really led to the split? That's the question insiders are still trying to answer.
Before we get to the lawsuits, let's go to Blake Lively in this article in the Daily Mail, an exclusive today. Oh, forlorn Blake Lively breaks cover. Far from Hollywood as insiders reveal new private battle, creeping regret over Justin Baldoni lawsuit. Oh, poor Blake. It must be so tough out there. Look at this forlorn. God, her outfits are the worst. Oh, this forlorn Blake Lively. She's really struggling here. She's really struggling in these two frames when everyone else is laughing around her, and clearly she is too. It's like, this is, look at this guy howling in laughter. It must be so tough to be Blake Lively. They're at an equestrian farm in South Salem as their daughter competes in a horse show. So, she's really struggling. The relatable Blake Lively is so forlorn and struggling at a horse farm as her daughter competes in equestrian acts. Most people can afford to do that, right? To head off to horse farms for their daughters to compete in equestrian events. My God. I dislike this woman more and more as much as she goes out there. It's crazy because this whole article is trying to paint it as how difficult it is. Blake is striving for normalcy in her life, but the past few weeks have been incredibly challenging. It seems like every move she makes is now under constant criticism. You're just now realizing this after the Saturday Night Live thing, after the South by Southwest, after the stupid PR opportunity that was the donut shop. Oh, she now feels like her entire life has been turned upside down. Yeah, and it's your fault.
Behind the scenes, Disney's decision to cut ties with Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively isn't just about one big moment, it's a lot more complicated. According to insiders, this wasn't a quick reaction to bad press or a single mistake. Instead, it looks like the result of ongoing issues that slowly got worse, problems at work, personal missteps, and disagreements that Disney eventually felt they couldn't ignore. One major factor, sources say, was Reynolds' legal battle with Justin Baldoni. It became more serious than most people realized. Even Disney's CEO Bob Iger reportedly got involved, urging Reynolds to end the lawsuit. That shows how concerned Disney was. The case involved defamation claims and drew a lot of media attention, which started to damage Reynolds' public image, something Disney cares deeply about. They're known for protecting their brand, and negative press surrounding one of their biggest stars was becoming too risky. But that's not the only reason. People close to the situation say there were deeper creative disagreements and personal tension behind the scenes. Rumors suggest that Reynolds and Disney executives didn't see eye to eye on how Deadpool 3 should be made. Reynolds is very involved in his projects creatively, which studios usually like, until it causes problems. If there were disagreements about the movie's tone, direction, or promotion, those creative clashes may have slowly broken the relationship. Another piece of the puzzle might be Blake Lively's career choices. She hasn't really been part of any Disney projects, and that distance may have added to the tension. In Hollywood, image matters just as much as action, and Disney watches both closely. Lively's lack of involvement might have made it harder for Disney to see the couple as fully aligned with their brand. On top of that, some people at Disney were reportedly unhappy with how Reynolds was dividing his time. He's involved in many other ventures like Mint Mobile and Wrexham AFC, and some at Disney may have felt he wasn't giving their projects, especially Deadpool, enough attention. Big-name stars often juggle multiple roles, but problems can arise when studios feel like they're no longer the top priority. This kind of thing isn't new in Hollywood. Remember when Marvel split from Edward Norton over creative control? Even great actors can lose big opportunities when their vision doesn't match the studio's. And while this situation may not end careers, how Reynolds and Lively respond could be just as important as the split itself. Some say their reaction has raised more questions than answers, leaving many to wonder what they're not telling us. And that brings up the next big question. How exactly have Reynolds and Lively responded to all of this?
One example, despite the FAC's preposterous $400 million damages claim, the opposition concedes that the FAC is in fact alleges no actual monetary harm whatsoever, instead relying exclusively on defamation per se theory that even if it were valid, which it's not, fails to allege cognizable damages for any of the FAC's other claims. In addition, the opposition concedes the FAC does not allege proximate causation, another fatal omission. The opposition reveals something much worse than the FAC's failure to state valid claims against Mr. Reynolds. Stunningly, it confirms that only 3 of the Wayfair parties, Mr. Baldoni, Mr. Heath, Wayfair, have articulated any legal claim against Mr. Reynolds at all. As detailed further below, the sole alleged defamatory statements concern only Mr. Baldoni. The other only alleged conduct as to extortion was directed at most Wayfair studios, Mr. Baldoni and Mr. Heath. And the only parties even arguably in contractual relationship with WME were Wayfair and Baldoni. But disregarding that rule of obligations, every Wayfair party asserted each claim against Mr. Reynolds, meaning that every Wayfair party, other than Mr. Baldoni, brought a federal lawsuit alleging at least one cause of action that they know they had no legal basis to assert. None of Mr. Sarowitz, Miss Nathan, Miss Abel, It Ends With Us, Manage, or TAG has a single cause of action against Mr. Reynolds that they even arguably possess. All those claims should be dismissed, and Mr. Reynolds should be awarded his attorney's fees and costs under New York law.
When Disney announced it was cutting ties with Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, the reaction was explosive. Fans, critics, and industry insiders were shocked. Many took to social media to express disbelief. Some thought Disney was overreacting, while others believed this was the result of deeper issues that had been simmering for a long time. But soon all eyes turned to one thing. What would Reynolds and Lively say, or would they stay silent? So far they haven't said a word, and that silence is loud. Ryan Reynolds, who's usually known for his funny social media presence, has stayed completely quiet. He even turned off comments on some of his Instagram posts, which many believe is a way to avoid more backlash. If this is a strategy, it's a risky one. Sometimes silence just makes people more suspicious, making it seem like something is being hidden. Blake Lively hasn't said anything either, even though her name has been dragged into the situation. It looks like both are choosing to ride out the storm quietly for now. But does staying silent work in Hollywood? It depends. Some celebrities have managed to recover by speaking up. For example, Scarlett Johansson sued Disney but quickly released a clear, smart statement that won her public support. On the other hand, Johnny Depp's long and messy legal battles turned into a media circus, with fan support going up and down as more details came out. Reynolds and Lively may be staying silent to avoid making things worse. Reynolds, in particular, has carefully built an image as funny, relatable, and down to earth. Speaking out now could backfire, especially if there's nothing solid to clear his name. Lively, who isn't directly involved in the legal fight, may feel she has nothing to gain by stepping in. So while staying quiet might not win fans over right away, it's probably a carefully planned move. Still, silence comes with its own risks. With no statement from either of them, Disney is the only side of the story being heard. That leaves the public to fill in the blanks with guesses and rumors. Everything they do or don't do is being watched closely. Is their silence a sign of guilt or just a smart PR move? Their next steps will be important. How they handle this could shape their future in Hollywood, and possibly decide whether Disney ever works with them again. But the big question remains. What happens next for Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, and could Disney ever welcome them back?
And he had some choice words about Ryan Reynolds' choice words.
What did you think when you saw, Ryan, make light of the situation, I guess, try to find some humor in all this?
I'm unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been sexually harassed and has made jokes about that type of situation. I can't think of anyone who's done anything like that. And
This split isn't just about Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively, or even Disney. It highlights bigger changes happening in Hollywood. These days, reputation matters more than ever, and not even the biggest stars are safe. Disney's choice to protect its image instead of sticking with Reynolds, a major box office draw, shows that studios are following new rules. So what comes next? Could Disney have handled things differently? Or was this outcome bound to happen? One thing is certain: this situation is far from over, and the impact could change how Hollywood works moving forward.